the 3-4-3 like Chelsea has done and everybody else is following. But it's not working for them. I think they need to stick to that identity, and whatever that identity is. You know, they played 2 strikers the other day. Why did they not just go for it? They're playing at home, in front of their own people. Go for it, have a go.
Yeah, they need to have a go in the second half. Portugal very comfortably 1-0 up at half-time then in the Spartak.
Had the time to deliver the ball.
Chances for Portugal in the second half. One of your bugbears is men behind the ball doesn't mean anything if they're not doing any work, or they're not doing their jobs particularly.
Russia get everybody, it's nine of them back, but if you... What are them 3 doing? What are those 3 doing there on the edge? I mean, Cedric's got so much time. He puts his foot on him, knocks a brilliant ball in, and Andre Silva gets his head on it. It's a great save, you have to say.
Centre forward said head it down though, didn't he, straight away?
Yeah, if you're being critical, you head it down, and
the run from midfield as well is brilliant, isn't it?
Brilliant here. The player goes in the space, and Ronaldo needs to score that. It's a little bit behind him, but you would think Ronaldo can adjust himself and play a little bit with that long neck of his and head that in. But that was a great movement from Portugal.
And as you said in the second half, crosses in the box. Suddenly 2 up front, or certainly Smolov had support, didn't he? And
he needs to head this ball in. He needs to be braver and put his head to it. The goalkeeper doesn't know where he is and is very nervous. This one, you need to head that down. It can't come better. It cannot come better. You need to head that down and work the goalkeeper.
That was the best one of the lot, because he's got above his defender and he's waiting for the ball. He's got up early, and it's just the action.
He does everything well until he heads the ball.
Until the bit that matters.
Yes.
So they've got to play Mexico in Kazan. You think, as things stand, you'd fancy Mexico to get the better of Russia, which means Russia wouldn't qualify for their own semi-finals?
I don't think so. I think Mexico is a better team at this moment of time than Portugal. They press really well when they lose that ball, and that will give Russia so many problems. They've got more energy. They've got a goal scorer in Chicharito who will love that little space and who will love to finish people off. I only see Mexico beating Russia.
No, I think I can't see it at all. I mean, they did better, Russia, in the second half, but I think there is a step up again. I think they've got enough movement to actually hurt Russia a lot.
So as we look ahead to the second game this evening, we're just hearing that Javier Hernandez Chicharito is actually quality racing at Royal Ascot, and our coverage continues tomorrow with Gold Cup Day. Join Ollie Bell for the opening show from 10 in the morning on ITV4, and then Ed Chamberlain and Francesca Cumani will present the live action from 1:30 on ITV. Let's just talk about a couple of matters.
Lewandowski is a top player. That's the kind of player that will put people on the terraces, and the player that will improve Chelsea. You know, so in a way, I would love to see him at Chelsea. I would love to see him in the blue shirt. Yeah.
I think I like him a lot. I think he's a goal machine. I think he'll score goals anywhere he goes. He's been in Germany now for 7 years. From the player's point of view, would you want to go through your career and not sample the Premier League? As I know he's playing at one of the biggest clubs in the world, there's no doubt about that. But if a Manchester United come in, or, you know, and a Chelsea, I fancy him to fancy that move. I really do.
Perfect for our game, though, isn't it? Because he's so strong with his back to goal.
He is, and I like that Chelsea, if Chelsea's looking at it, I like that Chelsea's looking at him, because next year it's going to be a little bit different for Chelsea. They are not going to be able to play so much in counter-attacking football. They will play a lot in the final third of the opposition. So they need a striker that is good in the air, who can hold the ball, finds little spaces to score. So I understand this one. I really understand this one.
He scores all types of goals as well. You know, he gets headers, he gets tap-ins, he gets outside the box. I likened him, he laughed at me a little bit, but I likened him to like a modern-day Alan Smith at Arsenal. When he was on... Smudge was a really, really top striker, and he reminds me of him Lewandowski's gone on to massive things at Bayern, but I just think he's perfect for our game.
Well, particularly with Ibrahimovic leaving Manchester United, maybe that's sort of an obvious replacement. Some people say, well, why on earth would you leave Bayern Munich? But it's been in Germany, as you say, 7 years, been at Bayern for 3. Let's be honest, there's no challenge domestically at the moment, sadly, is there? Obviously.
Premier League, you can say what you want, but Premier League, that is the biggest competition in the world. But the only thing is, Bayern Munich is a big organization, big organization. Let's not forget that. Let's not underestimate that.
And if Costa does leave, and it seems like he will do, to be informed by text, as he says, that's a strange one, isn't it? Because immediately his price comes down because everybody knows that Conte doesn't want him anymore.
I think we all know that Costa is a smart individual, and I think he has played this to his smart individual, and I think he has played this to his benefits. I think there's more behind it than just a text, you know. Conte is way too smart, way too experienced to this situation to be just that, you know. So I think he was always going to make the decision for letting Costa go. I think there's always been a little bit of friction between them. And I think Conte is thinking about the team and the bigger picture, you know, so...
I think some of his strengths can be his weakness as well in a team environment. We know he's got that edge about him that I like, but he's always right on the edge of the law. And I think from a team point of view, that can come against you sometimes if he goes over that edge. He has calmed down a little bit, but I think he's always in him. And that would come out now in this transfer saga, the way he's going about it. So,
how many years has he been at Chelsea now? 3 years?
3 years,
3 years. I think for that kind of player, that kind of energy that he takes from a manager, it's just enough, that time spell.
Yeah.
You know, so...
And that abrasiveness that he brings with it.
Exactly.
After a while, it might get a bit wearing for his teammates as well. The complication is, of course, he loves Atletico Madrid. He's made that very clear. They, one of your former places, he can't go there if he wants to till January. They can't sign him.
Smart. He might have to loan him out with already making the deal with Atletico Madrid. It's going to be a tough one because, as you said, his value is a little bit down actually now. What does Chelsea do? How smart can they be? You know, how much leverage do they have? It's not going to be an easy one. But a deal has to be made because I think there is too much water under the bridge.
And it feels like he actually needs quantity-wise more players now, Conte, doesn't he? Because of the Champions League. Last season, you always deserve to win the title. There's no such thing as fluke winners. They thoroughly deserved it. But clearly not having any European football was a massive boon to them. They need an increase in numbers.
They do, and I've always thought that last season, you know, it always looked if they get an injury in there's a few teams like that, to be fair, but they get that injury and if he was out for a long period of time, then where the goal's going to come from? You need somebody centrally to pick some goals up. And the Lewandowski thing might get put out of their hands. If Man United come in and go, right, we're having him, then obviously, you know, that situation might change. They'll have to get somebody else anyway, but where he's going to get unless
Ronaldo goes to Manchester United.
I don't see that happening.
No.
I don't see that.
You think it's a ploy still?
Yeah. And I don't see those two working together again.
No.
Well, Mourinho and Ronaldo. Yeah. Well, no, I can see why you say that, Jimmy. Other game in the group, Mexico will be hot favourites as they take on New Zealand, and Javier Hernandez Chicharito is on the bench for that one in Sochi. Tomorrow, Cameroon against Australia from 3:30 on ITV4. And that's followed by a very good-looking matchup between Germany and Chile. That's from 6:30 tomorrow. And don't forget, our coverage of Royal Ascot continues tomorrow. It's Gold Cup Day, the opening show at 10 a.m. on ITV4, the live racing from 1:30. OK, Portugal virtually into semi-finals. See you in a moment for Mexico against New Zealand.